Hi viewers, welcome to Silent Conversations with Miss Nkatha. I am your host, Miss Nkatha. I wear many hats. I am a recovery coach, Nakada trained, a nutritionist by profession, and chairperson of Graceful Youth Recovery Center, which is a youth-led organization at the forefront against alcohol and drugs. I'm also a partner at Olenana Nkera Treatment Center, which is an inpatient facility for anyone who has a substance use disorder or mental health condition. We are able to offer a holistic approach to treatment. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by a father figure, a man who has had many seasons in his life, and he is triumphant because he has overcome a lot. And he is an author, an evangelist, and he has an amazing testimony. And without further ado, I would like to introduce him to introduce himself. Welcome to the show, David.
Thanks a lot, Madam Nkatha, for inviting me to this show. And hi, viewers. My name is David Igogo Kinuthia. I'm born again. I'm an evangelist, an author. I've written about 4 books concerning the sequence of my life. And I'm married, though my wife passed on last August. And I'm still hoping God is going to see me through. So I enjoy myself interacting with later comrades of mine whom I left a long time ago because I was not all that proper in my life, as I'll tell you later.
Yeah. Welcome. I'm so happy you did make it. And what has captivated me in your introduction is, number one, your wife is resting. May her soul rest in peace. And that you're an author. And in your books, you have written the consequences of your life. What does that mean? Well, tell us a little about yourself. Where did you grow up? How was life like? Then we can get to those actions that led to consequences and why today you're an author of all these books.
Okay, thanks a lot. My life is a bit funny since my father died when I was 2 years.
Okay.
And so we were 5 of us kids. We had to be raised by a single mom.
Okay.
And getting to school was a bit harder because of the fee. And so one day, my uncle, who was living in Nakuru, came for me. I'll give this measure. He came for me and he wanted me to go there and start schooling, standard 1. But the wife was not all that nice to me. And so I used to stick with him there, with the maid. We used to stay with the maid there. The other kids were in the school. And
you went to Nakuru?
To Nakuru too, yeah.
To study, but you're not studying?
Yeah, my uncle came for me. And he said he's going to offer me. I'm going to study there in Nakuru, to start my standard 1 then in Nakuru with his kids. But now the wife to my uncle was a bit tough. And so I used to stick at home with the house girl. And this house girl took advantage of me. all the time.
Oh, sexually?
Yeah. Sexually abused a long time ago. So this entered into my head, my brains, and I was tormented. I couldn't, sit properly with the ladies because I feared they might do the same. Anyway, that story ended. My mom came for me when she heard how the treatment that I was getting. She came forward for me. I came and I started schooling here in Nedero. It's our home area. I went to standard 1 up to standard 7. I was quite bright. And during my standard 7, I became number 1. My elder brother came number 2, and I was enrolled in Nairobi. Here in Nairobi school, Queen's High School in Nairobi. It was quite a smart school. Calling geniuses and all those who were number 1 in their schools. So I mingled with so many people. But now the problem was traveling all the way from Tendero to Nairobi. The fare was a problem to get. And so I involved myself with these guys of Nairobi, those who used to stay there at Bahati, because the school was just around Bahati.
How old were you?
I was 19 years. Yeah, 19 years.
In high school?
In high school, yeah, I was 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when you involved yourself now with the people to try and cope.
Yeah. So now I involved with these guys who were staying at Bahati because I had nowhere to go. These guys, they had 3 of them, they had like a small room, so they invited me. So they told me, because I was bright in school, they told me, come, we stay together. So they enjoyed my company and I enjoyed their company, because now I'm a bit settled fare-wise. And so what they were doing in the evenings, they were selling drugs, they were selling in the bars, they were selling this bangi and some other stuff. And what they were doing at the night was to snatch from the drunkards, especially men, when they are carrying something, they used to snatch. So they introduced me to this game. This is what we were eating.
You call it a game?
Yeah.
It became fun, you know.
It became fun.
Okay.
It became our lifestyle.
Oh, man.
So I enjoyed it, but later on, the Askaris knew about our activities. And there was another gentleman. Now he was a gentleman, another man who was staying there. And he was totally engaged in this crime. And policemen came and they came to look for him, but he had left. So that was my lifestyle. And
did you finish school?
Yeah, I finished school, though in a very hard way. So in the school, we were selling bangi also there to students. I finished school. Then after finishing school, I was employed by another company. Then later, I joined the bank, and I was posted at a bank that posted me at Mombasa. Then Mombasa is another stage of drugs. And since I had a clue of drugs, I engaged myself very quickly. Later, I messed up.
What happened?
I signed a document that was forged. And I landed myself into Shimulatewa prison for 6 years. Though I was told to complete the 2 years. There in the prison, I learned a lot, because I met my customers there, my friends, I met them there. So it was just like another transfer to me. Yeah, so I enjoyed being there and learned a lot.
You said 2 years of a 6-year term, or is that 6 years the way?
No, 6 years. Then I met some doctors there and some lawyers. So we appealed. They helped me to appeal. They helped me to appeal. When we appealed, then I was to serve the 2 years. Okay. Yeah.
That one is, so the forging happened when you were in the bank?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How was life? You know, you said you started selling drugs.
Yeah.
Did you also use when you were that 15-year-old when you were selling, or when did you then start using?
I started smoking when I was in primary school. Long time ago. Now, when I went to high school, I was introduced to these hard drugs. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, hand drugs and in fact this the changa. I remember one day when I was going to do my exam, I was very smart in maths. But when I was going to do maths, that subject, I passed it to a nearby mentor of mine. I call him mentor. He was counseling me on the way how to take drugs and whatever. He could give me some drugs so that I could go and sell. He was my mentor.
A negative influencer.
Yeah. I passed there.
But you looked up to him.
Yeah. In fact, he was very known there in Bahati. So he was a good friend of mine. He was my security. So I went and early in the morning, I told him I'm going to do my subject. I was not worried because I was smart in maths. And he told me, you know what, come on, take this. You'll be very brave. He was a bit drunk. So I took a changa and 2 pounds of banking. When I went to do my exams, I could see people just falling on me. All what I did was to write my name and my index number. Then I became just like that.
Because you were seeing these illusions that were not there.
Yeah, they were not there.
Mm-hmm.
They were not there, but I could see them. I could see the students, the teacher, and the chairs were falling on me. So I kept holding my desk until later I came to my senses when it was almost time to hand over the papers. I started doing my exams. I started answering questions. Only 2 questions I did. The bell rang and we had to hand over there.
Did the teacher notice you had a problem?
Yeah.
What did you tell him?
He didn't talk to me. And all of the first time he came to anything wrong, I told him no. So I told him no. And nothing is wrong.
You know what? When you talk about a mentor who taught you how to use drugs, who taught you also how to sell, you know, it's then quite unfortunate because it molded you. It molded you,
Exactly.
unfortunately, negatively.
Negatively.
And I don't think if someone told you to quit his company or to stop that relationship, you would have accepted easily.
No, I wouldn't, because he was my security. He was helping me. And so I could get whatever I wanted from him. But he was driving me in the wrong way.
Where is he today? I know it's many years.
He died.
In the line of crime?
Yeah. Wow, he died.
At least now I have, I can see you started using Ali, that now led to you to working into your professional life, into Shimolatemo.
Yeah.
What happened after you got out?
When I got out,
Were you reformed? Because the prison system is meant to rehabilitate and help you reform. When you left, did you come out different?
I can say no.
Okay.
I came up being sharper than I was. I found very smart guys there who knew everything. So I was taught how to live and how to deal with that area of drugs.
Oh.
So when I came, in fact, I started singing. I came to Nairobi. I left Mombasa, I came to Nairobi. Now my wife was very young at that time.
Oh, you had already gotten married.
Yeah, but we had only 1 kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I started selling the drugs here in Nairobi.
Did you have any formal employment, or
No,
that is now the trade?
That is the trade that I entered.
Okay.
Yeah, with some other guys. So there were some other guys that I knew long time ago when I was schooling here, and they had gone to university, but they had come criminals. So they were very smart. They engaged me into some activities here and there, and I found myself being in that game.
Did your wife know what you were doing when she was getting married to you?
No, she knew I was a banker. Okay. And she was very happy because she was married to a banker.
Oh my.
Only to learn that I did also with drugs.
The secret lives of men.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so later on, when I became engaged so much in this crime, in these guys in Nairobi, because they were notorious, they were very known. I'll give later how I got saved. I found myself being not worthy. And one day, when I was going home at late, because I normally go, I used to go home at maybe midnight, or when it is morning, saa nane usiku. One day, I don't know whether I should say the style of my being saved now.
Tell us, now how many years in is this? How old are you at that time? How long have you been in crime and drugs? So that it's okay, so that you...
But because now I was 35 years old. 35 years old when I got married. So I was late.
Okay.
Because of this leisure life.
Okay.
I was saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I could enjoy the way I could.
Did you invest when you were making all this money?
No, I had bought a house there at Motopanga. Though I had a loan. But when I was put in, then it was taken.
You were in prison when you were how old?
When I was 30 years.
So you've left prison?
Yeah.
And you've said you learned a lot
Yeah.
from the best.
Yeah.
What were these things that you learned so that now when you came out, you continued being a criminal and also the drug peddling?
You know, there in jail, you meet so many guys. There are doctors, there are lawyers, there are these notorious ones, the criminal, the gang people. There are all those.
Did you meet Kariamete?
Yeah.
Was he there?
No.
Okay.
Some others.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And this, so I learned the hard way. You know, life in jail is not all that smart.
Yes.
Because you are not free. And if you are not careful there, you can get ruined. But when I entered there, I met some good friends of mine whom I live with. And they taught me how to stay in jail. And I said, okay, I'm a bright boy, so I have to play it cool here. I have to be smart here. I have no otherwise but to be smart.
Okay.
So I went to the administration policeman, and I told him, look here, I took money, and I have a lot of money. You know, there in jail, you have to live by lies. I have a lot of money, and when I get out, I'll remember you. So give me a nice job. So I was given a job role. They used to call me doctor there because I was in charge of these people who are going to the hospital. And there I learned something. I became the drug trafficker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because now I have the chance of mingling with the civilians. I could get some drugs from them, and I used to transport them into jail.
And the way I see these trucks, the Mariamos, they're called Mariamos?
Yeah.
And the way they look guarded and a lot of security, to me, there was a cartel or a syndicate.
Yeah. We used
involving security.
Yeah.
Oh.
We used to be helped by the askaris. But you have to dish something. You have to give them something.
So you started peddling in prison?
Yeah. With the help of the askaris. Sometimes I could, I used to bandage people. I could put some cigarettes there, then bandage, then I put, what you call them, that blue thing. I didn't know what.
GV.
I could apply GV, and I got this guy how to walk, so he could enter with the drugs.
Maybe they're still doing it, and today someone is listening.
Yeah.
And a policeman is going to.
That's what we used to do. That's what I used to do.
Okay.
So I stayed a good life there without any problem. Until one day I was noticed. Then I was punished. I was beaten. Then I was transported to industry now, making these mikekas and whatever.
Oh, it's still in Shimolata, but
yeah.
Removed from the doctor position to manufacturing items.
Yeah, that's the way of life.
Wow.
But there's some other guys who were murderers there also, who committed the crime of rape. These gangsters of guns, all kinds of guys. And so when we are there in jail, we discuss the issues. What are we going to do when we come out of this place? So we enlighten one another. And my joint is there, my den is there. So when you get out, maybe you can go and see so and so and so, and I'll be coming also. We continue with the same crime, with the same system. That's how one gets lost.
So inside this jail, instead of you going through reform, you actually formed new networks.
Yeah.
Because even if those gangs and all these leaders had been arrested and they were serving, they still had operations out there.
Exactly.
So they just networked or linked you together.
Yeah.
So what happened when you left in the jail?
Then when I left, in fact, I went and I found my wife suffering, and I said, no, this can't continue. So my duty was to come from home to Nairobi to check whether I can get something. That's how I came to know these many criminals I entered into so many crimes, though we were never caught. Yeah.
So what activities were you doing? Were you doing it only in Kenya, in Nairobi?
In Kenya, but now we were in Kenya. But we were planning to go to Uganda before Lord Jesus talked to me. We were planning to go there, and I can tell how I got saved.
Yes, sure.
This one, it was, I was a drunkard. And one day, I came home very drunk. And I asked for a cup of water. I was given one first glass, the second, the third one couldn't go through. I felt a very sharp pain, very sharp, that even to inhale, I had to shed tears. So I kept on the whole night until saa 11. Sasa nikaona saa 11 imefika. My children will wake up and see me crying. They will wonder what. I told God, I know you are the one who has done this, who has touched my throat. I know you are the one. Please heal me. Remove this pain and I'll never drink again. I promise. And so the thing just disappeared. I don't know how. So the following Sunday, my wife told me, will you take me to church? Will you accompany me to church? I said, yes. And that week, I didn't go to Nairobi. I became a very nice husband. I stayed at home. So this week, 1 week, these criminals were looking for me. One of my best criminals, the notorious one, was looking for me. He had a friend from Uganda, an ex-army. So that ex-army wanted us to go and get ammunition from Uganda. We come and say,
had you done that before? Ever?
Only once.
Okay.
Yeah. We say here at Israel. So that week, they could not find me here in Nairobi. So they came home looking for me. And that Sunday, when I took my wife to the church, the pastor said, you all stand and say the Psalms 107. I would like to dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. So me, I went. I didn't know that's what the altar of my wife, where she used to pray, asking for my salvation.
You went to the front?
No. We were told to just to stand and you stay where you want and say, yeah. So where I went was there, where my wife used to go and pray, to kneel down and cry. I didn't know. So instead of saying those words, I heard a voice in form of a song, which said, this is the day that the Lord has made. And the voice disappeared. Another voice followed immediately and said, if you don't accept me today, I'm going to leave you and you are going to face a career of death. So I became worried and I didn't know what to do, still facing the wall. So I said, Lord Jesus, I need you, come and save me. When I said those words, I saw a vision of Jesus, just dropping, and angels on both sides were going up and down. So he came in, we faced each other, we faced one another.
With a face or with a light, or what was that?
Just like the way I am seeing you now. Yeah.
Okay.
I was not myself. So he came, I smiled, he smiled, the smile became very nice, very beautiful. So I decided I should greet this person, this Jesus. So only to extend my hand, I hit the wall.
Because you were facing the wall.
Yeah. And so I became to myself. I became normal. I came to my senses. So when I turned, I saw I was the only one person who was standing, and the pastor, in fact, there in front. I went direct to where my wife was seated, and I told her, you know what? I got saved when I was standing there. And she told me, it's up to you now. So the pastor realized there must be something going on. He called me in front and asked me, hey, do you have anything to tell the church? I told him I got saved when I was standing there, so you can do the needful. And I was told to kneel down and say this repentance prayer. And the whole church is...
Say amen.
Yeah, it came to a mess. They started crying, singing.
They all knew you.
They knew me.
They knew.
Women, men, what they knew. They started crying. Even when the senior chief Bore heard about it,
Yeah.
he sent a congratulations. And he said, if that one has been saved, no one can refuse to get saved.
Because your reputation was
Yeah,
known.
it was bad.
Were you stealing also from these people in the village, or you were only focused in the city?
In the city.
Okay.
Normally in the city.
So what happens now? You have this new life. You have Jesus.
No. The words of Jesus Christ, I'll leave you and you are going to die a cruel death.
Yeah.
It came to be true. On that particular Sunday,
Yeah.
when we were going home with my wife, before we reached home, we met these guys, the king
Yes.
with a Ugandan.
Yes.
He asked me, hey, you look very smart. What happened? I told him, no, I'm from the church. I got saved. He became crazy. He told me, what? Who saved you? Why you saved by the devil? Because I know you. I told him, no. I got saved. Jesus saved me. He told me, no, you must be crazy. My wife became furious now. And she asked them, who are you guys? Why are you talking like that to my husband? My husband got saved. We are from the church. Hey, then we went there at home. Mbangu ilikuwa kadogo sana. There was only kiform there nilikuwa nimeweka. So we sat there and they started narrating the whole story of going to Uganda and getting ammunition.
Just the few. Your wife was not there.
She was inside the house now.
Okay.
She was inside there, but she could hear everything.
Okay.
In fact, she told me she was just praying, asking God to give me strength to say no. They told me that we are going to. They had been looking for me there for the last week. They couldn't see me.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time God had messed with my throat. So they have come, and they are ready to give me 10,000. I give Mama, then we can go to Uganda and do the business. I told them, no, I'm a new person now. I cannot do the job. And they became very furious and they were very angry. And I told them, okay, no problem. I cannot change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm born again now. I'm a new person.
Mm-hmm.
So they went. And they went to Uganda and they did the mission. They took what they took and they came back in Kenya. Only after 2 weeks, they were gunned down. That was the corridor death the Lord was talking to me. If you don't accept me today, I'm going to leave you and you are going to face a corridor death.
How did you find out about the cruel death and you in the village?
I used to come.
Oh, you came.
To Nairobi. In fact, my guys, because he was a well-known criminal.
Yeah.
And my guys from Nairobi, from Denderu,
Mm.
they knew him because we used to be together.
Mm.
In fact, one of them is the one who told me, come. And said, I was in Nairobi. Your friend has been shot dead.
And that's a mission that they had called you for.
That was the mission. So they were selling the issue, things at Israel, and they were not dead. So they were being followed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the crime that the Lord did. God could see how the plans were set up.
That's truly humbling, because if he told you about this death, 2 weeks later, they are gunned down.
Yeah.
People who had come and begged you and even offered money,
Yeah.
and you refused because you had just seen that revelation and gotten born again. I mean, it's truly humbling because you heeded to the call.
Yeah.
Imagine if you accepted
Exactly.
or fell into the trap. It would be a different story now.
It's beautiful, Bible says, behold, I started the door. Jesus said, if you hear my voice, open the door, I'll come in. When I heard the voice of Jesus Christ in the church, when I heard that voice, I opened my door of life. I surrendered my life.
I want you to look at the screen and tell somebody who's watching today, perhaps their life has been like the one that you lived. You've made all these decisions. They have consequences that are harsh because you've been to jail. Instead of getting reformed, you left jail even smarter in crime and continued doing it when you left. What can you tell someone who has taken that path? And because God saved you from all that, what can you tell them today? Because it's not always every day someone is saved like the way that you are saved from destruction. What can you tell them? Just look, whatever message comes to you.
Well, first of all, to all those who are viewing this media, I would like to maybe to speak to the parents first. Parents, there's in the Bible says, train a child the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn away from it. We need to be good counselors of our children. We need to be good role models, impacting both the values to our children, values that will shape their lives. And we need to plant a good seed in their life. There was a time I planted a very bad seed in my son's life, showing him that I do drink. I could take them out, and they could take soda, and I take the beer. So later on, he decided to, because of that curiosity, why is Dad taking this? He wanted to know what it is. So he took, and he became a drunkard. He also drinks. So please let us keep watching our children, their movements, the way they act when they are free, and we need to understand them very carefully. We need to understand their needs. And I think this is where even the Gen Z are coming, because we are not understanding their needs, the issues of their needs. Also, we need to know we don't have to instill fear to our children. Yeah, we don't have to instill fear, because when we instill fear, we will make them to go back and drink so that they can cover up this mess, or they can feel themselves accepted by their style of living. But we need to speak a blessing ones. Tongue is a strong thing, and it has life and death. So we need to learn how to bless our children if we want them to be in a good relationship with the society. Also encouraging our children to join these drug protection programs, so that they can learn more and also be worthy to their peers. To those who are watching me, it is not easy unless you accept Jesus Christ. It is not really easy to live a good life, because there are so many temptations. Even Jesus said, in this world you have trouble. Trouble is all over. And so to get out of this in reality, real thing, you have to accept Jesus. You have to surrender your life to Jesus. He's the only one who can manage your life. Otherwise, there are so many things that will make you go back. Yeah, there are so many things. Life is hard. We are living in a cruel world that is full of evil things. And some believe unless they do some funny games, they cannot survive. But with God, nothing is impossible. So this is why I accepted Jesus Christ, and I've been there, and I stick there, because even no matter what happens, it's a good refuge for me. I feel comfortable. So just be yourself. Let God direct your walks, your life, and enjoy what God has made you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so powerful. Yeah, because when you instill fear instead of bringing a person closer, it may make people shy away from you.
Yeah.
And it's important to have that close relationship, so that even your children can be able to feel free to have conversations with you.
Exactly.
Because like you have said, there's so many things happening now.
Yeah.
Because that was then, 28 years ago.
Yeah.
You've been sober 28 years?
Yeah.
It's been how many years since the encounter?
20, it's more than 20.
Which year was that? Which year was
30,
that?
30.
Which year was the turnaround?
The turnaround compared. No, 1998.
1998.
Yeah.
So it's
6 years.
Wow.
It's not right. 26
Yeah,
years. So many things happen.
So you can imagine that was you then in crime and drugs. But today so many things have changed. the access is easier due to the technology. It is a global village these days. You can see what is happening in America vis-a-vis that time. So thank you for that advice. Tell me, what happened? Now your life has changed. Did it have meaning? What have you done with yourself over those years? You mentioned you're an author. When did you start writing?
2006.
How did that come about? I can see there are some books. What are these?
These are the books that I wrote. After going on what I went through, I decided to come up with this book. This is my autobiography.
Oh, kept by the eye of the Lord.
Starting from when I was young, when I was at Nakuru.
Yes.
When I went to jail, when I got saved, it's all here.
Where can we get this book? Kept by the eye of the Lord.
By the eye. There was
The Amazing Life of Uncle Dave.
This is what I used to call myself.
Where do we get? You can tell them a telephone number they can reach you on.
My telephone number is 0795 455 917 or 0722 674 334.
Which other book have you written?
This one, I first wrote that one. Then I came up with this one, 5 Keys to Unblock God's Kingdom. When I went to Life Ministry Campus Crusade for Christ, I went there for training for 6 months. Then I went to Pan-African Christian University for 2 years to get my diploma into information Christian leadership.
Oh, congratulations!
I decided to write these 5 Keys to Unblock God's Kingdom.
Okay.
How you can enter into God's kingdom. You have to obey them. You have to admit that you are a sinner and do what you have.
Wow.
It's
a nice pocket book. By Uncle Dave. Okay. Another one.
Then I came with this one. No, because I'm very much associated, even to now, associated to these guys who are taking drugs. I normally visit them.
I met you at a forum for alcohol prevention. So I'm not surprised.
I like talking to them because I was there once. It is because they are slaves. They become slaves. Addiction. When you are addicted, you become a slave. You become a slave to what?
The name of the book?
This is Drug and Alcohol Abuse.
Okay.
These are the certain potent weapons. He uses them to confuse people.
Okay.
So I came up with this book. It's full of guidance of how to do away with the drugs.
Okay.
And what's a drug? What's a drug? What's addiction?
Yes.
What's drug abuse? Is excess use of drugs for non-medical use. This is what it's all.
Wow. Okay.
So when I meet these guys, I normally give them. They are not willing to buy.
Yes.
Most of them. So I just give them.
He says here how to help a drug user. Take time to understand what has driven one to abusing. There's always an underlying reason. Because you can attest, it doesn't taste good.
No, it doesn't.
You probably feel good a little, but then the hangover is worse. So it's not because of the taste. Maybe the feeling, but what is driving them to use. You say here when I was you say here when I was hooked to drugs, I hated those who criticized what I did, but never dug further to know why I was taking them. I am in agreement with those who say that drug abuse is a symptom of other underlying problems that must be addressed before one realizes his or her freedom. When you shared how you were brought up and how at a very young age you were abused sexually by someone who was meant to be protecting you, when you talk about having to be separated from your family because you needed an education as a young teen and resorting to staying with friends who are already peddlers and drug dealers. I mean, those are underlying issues. You didn't grow up in a safe environment. You were surrounded by adverse environments, so that even for a child to thrive, I'm in agreement that could have been the reason as to why you ended up in that direction. So this is a good book. I like the way you personalize it. As you're sharing about the drugs and the alcohol, you're also giving your personal experience to put a point across. The fourth book, those are three books.
The fourth book is this one. Now, after getting saved, I came to a conclusion myself. I realized, and because I mingle with so many Christians and the pastors, I realized, 95% of us are not living according to God's standard. We're not living. And so I saw us, we are somehow half naked.
The way we dress?
When God looks at us, we are half naked people. We are not pure. Our hearts are not pure. They are full of that and there are so many things which are making us to be half naked. Anger, hatred, all this greed, and so many things.
Okay.
And this, so I came up with this book, Half Naked Christians, just for us Christians to be shaped and live according to God's standard. Otherwise, this is why I think this is why the church is not brilliant. It is not sorting. The church is not sorting now. People are not willing to come to church. Why? Because of Christians, like the way the Christians are living now.
Wow. I also, that's what it means, half naked Christians. That the Christians are born again, but they're not living the streets and narrow. You'll find corruption in the church. You'll find them turn a blind eye to so many things. You'll find them chasing away those who are in need. Wow, that's interesting. And we've had quite a number of scandals in the church as well when it comes to social issues. That's interesting. So just again emphasize where they can get you. Where are you currently based? Are you involved in any programs that in your community, so that if anyone is interested in joining you, they can reach out to you? What are you currently doing?
Well, I'm normally a freelance evangelist.
Okay.
Sometimes I go to prison through the church.
Oh, you go to prison?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to be in a certain church and I was involved in the prison ministry.
Okay.
Because there I could feel comfortable. I could meet my guys and talk to them and tell them I was there.
Yes.
And so I used to enjoy. Also, I also go in the streets talking to these drug abuse people. I talk to them. Sometimes I'm being called by the chief to come and address a gathering. Because a gathering, and I'm called there to give them advice and assist them.
Yes, I should introduce you to an organization called Youth Against Drug Abuse, because they are currently having a program with the prisons. And your lived experience. They have a session. They have a session called Story Yangu, where in the prisons they're able to speak to the employees, the wardens, so that when the time comes for them to engage with the inmates, then they are an equipped team. Not only that they are all equipped with the knowledge and the skills. So I think that would be a good network for you to share your uplifting story. And I know sometimes when people are in a certain state, they don't see themselves getting out. People, it's a challenge, like you said. So when they hear a story like yours, and number one, free from drugs for over 20 years. Number two, you are born again. Number three, you're an author touching lives in different places. I remember when we were talking earlier, you said you had contested to be a member of the county assembly. We'll take a short break. And when we come back, then we can be able to let the viewers know what you have been up to And, we do appreciate your time.
Mhm.
Viewers, will be right back after the short break. We were saying you vied to be an MCA.
Yeah.
Have you been in that political arena for some time now, or what was your interest there?
Before I engaged myself in this last day 2022 this election,
Yes.
I had been an observer
Okay.
for a long time.
Yeah.
You can see here.
And elections, they call it?
Yeah.
General elections.
Yeah.
This card grants access as specialized by IBC.
Yeah.
What is the role of an observer? An observer.
Yeah.
They say David Igogo Kinuthia.
Yeah.
East Africa Center for Law and Justice. What was your role as an observer? We hear observers. Yeah. What is the role of an observer?
To make sure that the boxes arrive in safe way and in time.
Okay, you're a witness that.
I witness. I have to witness. That they are sealed. They arrive in time.
Yeah.
And the voters.
Yes.
Are being arranged in order. They are not being harassed.
Yeah.
And all the documents are there. We check the documents. This is the receipts and what.
Form 2A. Which one is that? Form 2.
And we have to sign somewhere.
Where did the interest come from? Because this must have been a position you applied for.
Yeah. This is a position I applied for.
Okay.
But now the interest came when I got saved. I became very well known by the people.
Yes.
And they started telling me, okay, come on, Uncle, the way they used to count.
Uncle Dave.
Why can't you then get this seat of MCA? We are going to offer you. We are well known there. And we have reformed. So we are going to vote for you. So they kept on asking me. So I said, okay, let me try this time.
Yeah. So
I engaged myself in the campaign.
How did it go?
Well, I was doing very well in the groundwork. Very well. And people, in fact, thought I would get the seat. But later on, when I don't want to enter into politics all that much, but what happened, my party was not very much popular. And the other party now decided, no, it is our man who is going to get in.
Okay.
So it went just like that.
Wow.
And I accepted.
It's wonderful. It's just good to see that because who is a member of the county assembly? Isn't it a voice of the people?
Yeah.
So from being a drug abuser or in addiction into crime, your life turning around by the hand of God, and now you being a positive influence in society. I can wish you the best. I believe in 2027 we will see you back at it.
God willing.
In politics they say if you've not been called by the community, they send people. So if people have been coming to you saying, hey, Uncle Dave, I can only pray that you're able to get such a position, because then you can push for policy and you can be able to be in another place where you can be of positive influence, not only for yourself, but for the community at large. Yeah. Wow.
This is what I would like to do, to serve my people.
Yes.
See, it's a good change from a crime, from one up to this far.
Yeah.
I can say it's only God's heart.
Wow. Your family? How is your family, your children?
My family now, since my wife left me, my children are grown-ups. The lady is there at Austria.
Okay.
She's working there. She's married there.
Wow.
You are there with Mama. And the kijana is in the security area.
What an irony.
Only 2 kids.
Yeah, you have 2 kids.
2 kids only. So I'm just all alone, trying to survive the hard way.
With a great call on your life.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll introduce you to also another organization that deals with widowed persons, and they bring a sense of community, because it's a stage of life. It happens, and many people face unique challenges that are not common with others. So I also pray that God gives you the grace to walk this journey, and you can be able to enjoy the memories of your wife who prayed, and the day you got born again, the place where Jesus appeared to you was a place she cried for many years. So what do we tell our viewers today? Parting shot.
Give yourself hope. My dear
Yes.
friends, give yourself hope. But first of all, just accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, and you live a good, happy life. You have a future tomorrow.
Amen. Viewers, you heard it from Uncle Dave. Thank you so much, Evangelist David Igogo, for joining us today. Viewers, I pray that I hope that you're uplifted by that testimony and the advice that he has shared today. This show is here to amplify voices of hope, to have conversations that can impact positively, and every voice matters. And so we are happy today to have heard from Evangelist David, and wish him the best. If you need his books, you can be able to go into the description. We will link and share details of where you can get his 4 books, so that you can be able to read, you can be able to get to know him more, or you can be able to share it with someone who will be a beneficiary of what he has written. Until next time, God bless you, and we love you.